Hey, what's up guys? Gemini. What I wanted to do in this video today is I wanted to take a look at the Nancy Grace interview last night with Diamond Dallas Page and some of the misfacts, miscalculations that took place in this interview. And you'll see, I'll show you the video here. I felt like that this was an attempt to sensationalize the evils of pro wrestling on her part. Now, I respect Nancy Grace. She's a tough woman. She's smart. She goes to bat for kidnapping victims and murder victims like Natalie Holloway in 2005 in Aruba. And I respect the hell out of Nancy Grace. But this was a sensationalized attempt to make pro wrestling, exploit pro wrestling's problems, which were obvious. So let's take a look at the interview with Nancy Grace and Diamond Dallas Page in regards to steroids and drug use. And by the way, the Warrior was not on drugs. He was like every other professional wrestler back in the day. He took steroids to get big so he can make money. They all have done it, so let's not jump down the Warrior's throat because he took steroids, in my opinion. Gemini, let's take a look.
Tonight, a major WWE superstar dead. Accusation of illegal steroids and drugs. What killed the WWE superstar?
A shocker for wrestling fans. Legendary wrestling star has been found dead. James Hellwig, a.k.a. the Ultimate Warrior, was just 54. It comes after he said something to fans just days ago that now sounds very eerie.
Every man's heart one day beats its final beat. His lungs breathe their final breath.
That is video of the Ultimate Warrior from WWE, and joining me right here on the set, former pro wrestler Diamond Dallas Page. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me on, Nancy.
Now, I don't quite recognize you with all your clothes on, but I'm trying to get past that.
Oh, you might miss.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there with the first line. I don't recognize you with the clothes on. Basically saying, you know, is that an insulting way of saying wrestlers just wear trunks in the ring? So we're already smirking at Diamond Dallas Page for having his clothes on. Diamond Dallas is a pro, okay? Of course he's going to have his clothes on a national television show on CNN, Nancy. So that's your first mistake, is smirking at pro wrestling, in my opinion.
Long blonde hair I had back in the day, too. So.
You know, so many wrestlers dead. Now accusations of steroids and illegal drugs swirling. Take a look at wrestlers who died young. To Dr. John Hong.
Okay, stop right there with your list. Take a look. Owen Hart, 33. He should not be on that list because if you're making references to drug and steroids, Owen Hart should not be on that list because he did not die young. I mean, he did die young, yes, but what happened to Owen Hart was an accident. This has nothing to do with steroids. This has nothing to do with a heart disease, which is prevalent in wrestling. Yes, he died young, but if you're making a list about wrestlers who died young because of steroids and abuse of their bodies, Owen Hart had an accident, and that's how he died. He should be taken off that list, in my opinion.
Internal medicine physician, Cape Regional Medical Center. The effect of drugs and steroids after using them for years and years sticks with you, right, doctor?
Absolutely. Anabolic steroids are probably used by 1% of Americans, and it's really bad on the cardiovascular system, meaning your heart, your arteries. It ruins your cholesterol, raises your blood pressure. It can cause a lot of heart enlargement that can lead actually to an arrhythmia causing sudden death.
Alexis Tereszchuk, senior reporter at RadarOnline.com. What happened?
As he and his wife were in Phoenix, they were actually just walking to the car in front of their hotel, and he collapsed on the ground. What the authorities are saying is this was a catastrophic medical event that happened to him. He was rushed to the hospital, and he was pronounced dead when he was there.
When you say a catastrophic medical
Spit it
event,
out.
I don't know what you mean by that. What do you mean, Alexis?
Those are the exact words.
Okay, Nancy, you know damn well what it means. It's a nice way of saying he had a heart attack.
The authorities used? Yes, that's what I believe it is. That's what people are saying. It sounds like a heart attack. What the causes of the heart attack have not been determined yet. There are going to be toxicology reports. There's going to be an autopsy done.
Of course. It's common sense stuff.
He was only 54, very young. But he even admitted in the past that he had done steroids, so these could have had a long-term effect on him. And he just signed up to be...
He's not the only one, so let's not chastise the warrior on using steroids. He's not the only one.
Really just a horrible tragedy.
That's video of Ultimate Warrior from WWE here on the set.
That's WrestleMania 6, by the way.
Page, former pro wrestler. Question, when you first heard that he was dead, what did you think?
I just saw him. I just saw him at the Hall of Fame, and he looked great, but you don't always know what's going on the inside. His energy was as high as I've ever. He was a very intense cat. He lived life. I mean, if you're going online, look at his workouts. He still worked out like he was 20 years old. I mean, he would hit really, really hard. That was the whole Ultimate Warrior spot.
You think that he was in great shape, so why would he be found dead?
Yeah, but, sometimes, I don't know. The last thing I am is a doctor, Nancy.
Now, I know nobody's ever accused you of being a medical doctor, but what I'm saying is...
Now, Nancy, you're being sarcastic again with Diamond Dallas. Of course he's not a doctor. We know that.
Tonight, claims of drug use and steroids swirling. He's admitted that he used drugs.
You just cut Diamond Dallas off.
We all used them back in the day, but...
Whoa. No, we didn't all. I've never used a steroid. I would do a steroid if it bit me in the neck.
But I mean, we did...
Nancy, we know you didn't do steroids. You're not in professional wrestling business. There's no reason to defend yourself against steroid. We know you didn't use steroids. You're a news reporter, not a professional wrestler.
Oh, I mean, certain guys are on a certain edge. And I tell you, I tried it back when I was a kid, too. And it's something that, once that's in your body, I guess, you're going to have some, what's it called, ramifications from that, without question. But, he was, and he actually changed his name to Warrior. He was
Tom Daly.
He was a passionate individual towards working out big time, and that's, if you look at him today, he's nowhere near as big as he was back then. Maybe he was like 230 or something.
Everybody with me, Diamond Dallas Page, former pro wrestler, also with me, David Dennis Jr. at the Hall of Fame ceremony, creative director at Smoking Section. David, thank you for being with us. What's Ultimate Warrior known for?
Ultimate Warrior, for people my age, I'm 28, I was a kid when he was wrestling. I mean, he was a real-life superhero. He'd run to the ring, he had his tassels and his paint, and he was basically captured everybody's imagination.
Captured everybody's imagination. Did it ever bother anybody that he was using steroids?
Once again, Nancy,
As a kid,
he was not the only one. Okay, so let's not chastise the Warrior for being the only one on steroids. All of them were. Just like Diamond Dallas said, and you got sarcastic about it.
we just saw him as a really big, buff guy. I mean, there were a lot of wrestlers that looked like that. The steroid allegations and him admitting to it came much later. And like DDP said, I mean, he hasn't been wrestling in 18 years, so I mean, it's hard to imagine what he's been doing since.
Everybody, take a look. You're seeing video of Ultimate Warrior from WWE tonight. Claims of steroid
That was 24 years ago, that match that you're showing.
Drops dead. Very quickly, David Dennis Jr. joining me. How did he appear at the Hall of Fame? According to Diamond Dallas Page, he seemed fine.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed fine to me. I was at the Hall of Fame ceremony. He delivered a passionate speech. He came out on Monday Night Raw was there. He did his old routine of shaking the ropes. He seemed totally fine and talked a lot about the future and everything like that, too.
Everyone, you're seeing video of Ultimate.
Ultimate Warrior
drops dead. Claims of drug use and steroids now swirling wrestling fans, WWE fans, in despair tonight after this. With me, Diamond Dallas Page on the set. Question. Why do so many, let's see that scroll please, Justin. Why do so many die at such a young age? I mean, you've got to take into account the steroids and drugs.
Well, for starters, I think you got to look at where it is today. And where we are is the WWE has the way stricter policy.
There's Owen Hart again. He should not be on that list.
NBA,
It was not his fault.
They are not just looking for steroids and illegal drugs. They're looking for painkillers and muscle relaxers and all those. Like, there is the strictest policy more than any other league. WWE, that's where...
Okay, you can stop right there. Joey Morella, Gorilla Monsoon's son, died of a car accident. It was an accident when Joey Morella died. It should not be on that list. It was not Joey Morella's fault that he had a car accident and died.
That's their whole deal. And the reason why guys like Jake the Snake Roberts and Scott Hall and the guys...
Okay.
You know...
Chris Candido. He died young. Yes, but he had an infection and he died.
Might have been gone earlier because of their involvement with getting guys that are into rehabilitation programs. So their wellness program is off the hook. And they have stepped up. And I don't work there anymore. I'm speaking from me to another because I'm all about a wellness program to help people have a longer, healthier life and changing their lifestyles. Back in the day, a lot of athletes took advantage of themselves. Jim Hellwig, to me, I've been watching him for the last 10 years, 5 years on YouTube. Strong 5 years. He was a health fanatic. Now, who knows why anybody's heart just stops like that, you know? Obviously, he wasn't out partying like crazy the night before. He was with his family down there, you know? So he was a real family man.
Everyone add this.
Okay, we just got done watching the video with Nancy Grace and Diamond Dallas Page, and I'm going to wrap this up by saying, if you're going to show a list of pro wrestlers who died young, it's not their fault on some of those wrestlers. Owen Hart, Joey Morella. Joey Morella had a car accident. Owen Hart got dropped from the ceiling 75 feet to his death. So some of that list was dramatized for TV, and I respect the hell out of Nancy Grace in regards to some of the stuff she did with Natalie Holloway and how she covered that and how she's very passionate. But she is sensationalizing a lot of this for television, and it's obvious. And the only thing that bothered me was her sarcastic approach towards pro wrestling and all this. I know she was sensationalizing it for TV, but I just disagree just a little bit with her maybe not having 100% fact on those wrestlers who did die young, instead of using this stuff for TV ratings is my only issue with this. Like I said, I respect Nancy Grace. I respect her opinions. She's a smart woman. She's tough as hell, and I respect her. But there was some errors in this video. I'm Gemini. Peace.